Second day moving in, as you can tell. There's still just a lot to be done, but I had to hop on because I had to do a quick rant because we got a fun comment. And when we get fun comments, what do? We make a rant. So here's the fun comment for today, okay? From our friend, we'll just call him C. Actually, I don't know if it's a man or a woman. Maybe it's a girl named C. There's so many factors that make or break a website. The design is literally just 1%, and you supposedly teaching them how to design websites is a scam. All right. I have a few comments. All right, our friend C, gender ambiguous, who are you? Just want to point you out to a few facts. Again, I recognize how this can, well, I'm not even sure. Okay, friend C, let me point you out to something called the Stanford Web Credibility Project. You can check it out more here on their website, but I'm just going to give you a brief overview on our friend Wikipedia here so we don't have to dive through all the stuff, okay? So essentially what happened is Stanford went through and did this big study to figure out what people thought, essentially how people judged their credibility. And what they did, if you could see here, they invited 684 average people to rate the credibility of websites in 10 different content areas, okay? Anyway, here's where things get really crazy. Findings. The study found that when people assessed a real website's credibility, they did not use rigorous criteria, a contrast to an earlier national survey, okay? The data showed, you still with me? That the average consumer paid far more attention to the superficial aspects of the site, such as, friend C, visual cues, than to its content. For example, nearly half of all consumers, or 46.1%, in the study assessed the credibility of their sites based in part on the appeal of the overall visual design of the site, including layout, typography, font size, and color schemes, okay? So a few other things that I think is really interesting. The reliance on the site's overall visual appeal to gauge credibility occurred more often with some categories than others, okay? So it talks about how basically anybody in the marketing space, search engines, travels, and e-com, okay? And then less frequently with health, news, and nonprofit. But all these marketing sites, done. So a little bit more than 1%, our friend C. Now, one other thing that I want to point out is one of the leaders of this thing, his name's BJ Fogg. I love BJ Fogg. He's a professor at Stanford. I got my consonants mixed up there. And he's awesome. He has something called Tiny Habits. He's friends with Ramit Sethi. He's like amazing. But listen to what it is that he said. I think this sums up this study absolutely phenomenally, okay? And this is what he says. He said, I would like to think that when people go on the web, they're very tough interrogators of information. They compare sources. They think really hard, says Fogg. But the truth of the matter, and I didn't want to find this in the research, but it's very clear, see, is that people do judge a website by how it looks. This is coming from a Stanford study, you guys. That's the first test of the website. Here's what's even crazier. And if it doesn't look credible or it doesn't look like what they expect it to be, that's important, designed for conversions, then they go elsewhere. It doesn't get a second test, and it's not so different from other things in life. It's the way we judge automobiles and politicians. I've been shouting this for the last however long. You might have the most amazing product in the world. You might have the most amazing service. You might be the guru of all gurus, but I'm telling you, if your design sucks, you can't even get people to stay on your page long enough to see what you're selling. You lose the game. Like our friend BJ says, it doesn't get a second test. They come, and if it doesn't look good, or what I think is most important, how they expect it to be, then they go elsewhere. This portion of how they expect it to be, this is where design hacking comes into play because it teaches you how to design for conversions, which means that the design, again, of a real estate website or funnel is going to look different than the design of a woman's weight or health, right? Same with women's weight loss versus men's weight loss, okay? Versus based on the apps, like what app you're selling or what product you're selling, like it's all gonna look different, and design hacking helps you to know like exactly like they talked about, what typography, what layout, what font size, what color schemes, like these are literally typography, layout, color schemes, like this is exactly what design hacking shows you how to do, is how to hack the system so that you can play into the psychology of these people who are looking to buy, but they want to make sure that they're buying and taking information from credible sources. So, to our friend C, you can see it's in my haters folder. Okay, to my friend C, I'm so sorry for everything you're going through, but you're just wrong.